Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing really well out there today. Now, seeing as it is Pride Month, I wanted to do a little coming out story. This is something that I have wanted to do for quite some time now, but I never really got around to doing it for whatever reason. But now I feel the time is right, and even though it is Pride Month at the moment, I feel that people like myself who are part of the LGBTQ plus community coming onto platforms like YouTube to share their coming out stories is always going to help someone out there who is struggling with their sexuality no matter what the month is. So grab yourselves a cuppa and let's get started. Okay, well, this is an odd one because I was definitely in denial for a very long time. I can remember the first time where I learnt about gay people was actually from a storyline in EastEnders in the mid-90s. There were two characters called Tony and Simon who got together on the show, and there were one or two scenes where we saw them kiss. Now, the very first time that this happened, I can remember it played on my mind for such a long time because it made me feel a little bit odd and confused. I wasn't sure if I liked what I saw or if it was wrong. I can remember talking to friends about it in school the very next day, and bear in mind I was in junior school at this time, so I would have been aged between 7 to 10 years old. I think I realised that I liked boys when I was young, when I went into secondary school or senior high school, depending on where you're watching this today, guys, but as I said, I was in denial for a very long time. While I was growing up as a kid, I used to get bullied quite a lot. It was never physical bullying because bear in mind I am a very tall guy and I was one of the tallest kids when I was in school, so nobody was ever really physical towards me. However, I was called a lot of names over the course of many years in my school, and one of those names would have been Gay Boy or Puff. You know, the standard bullying names. The name calling, it came from a lot of different groups of kids in my year, sometimes from the popular kids, as the ones you'd call them at the time, and sometimes from a group of lads who were just absolute idiots. And I honestly do believe that because of all of this constant name calling over my years in high school, it's probably one of the main reasons why it took me a very long time to come to terms with my sexuality and, hide it for such a long time. Don't get me wrong, I had a great group of friends in school, mainly girls at that time, so it shouldn't have been that hard to realise that, I was backed in for the other team. But I was in denial for a long time, even when I went to college, but I do believe it was around about the time of me going to college, age between 16 and 17, when I really started to realise that I really do like guys. I mean, I still didn't tell anyone, but I definitely knew that I liked men from this age, and but there was no, even though I was hiding it, from the world, there was no hiding it from myself. Okay, well, to be honest, I didn't have this big, massive coming out party where I announced to the world that I am gay. Although I do kind of wish I had done something like that looking back. I actually came out to different people at different times during 2008 when I was around about 21 years old. Now, the first person I came out to was somebody who I'd only just met that very night, and her name is Rachel Fleming. Hey Rachel, if you're watching this. Now, basically, me and Rachel, we had met at a mutual friend's birthday night out in Swansea, and we were both really, really drunk this night while everybody else had gone to the cigarette room or the toilet. Basically, it was just me and Rachel left on the dance floor, and we started chatting, really close into each other's ears because the music is loud, and I just randomly told her that I think I'm bisexual. And she was totally cool with it. I mean, she didn't know me and I didn't really know her. At that time, she was just a stranger who I had met that very night. I have got a bit of a hilarious side story though, because me and Rachel, we ended up working together about 2 months later in this call center. We didn't remember each other because we were so drunk on that night out, but we did have a photo with all of the other people on the night out with us, and I ended up having, I think it was a keyring or photo that you could see in my clear wallet, and Rachel saw it one day and she said, that is me in the photograph. And then the penny finally dropped, and then me and Rachel, we've been friends ever since. I then came out to a separate group of friends on a different night out, and the same thing pretty much happened. You know, I told them that I was bisexual, and they basically told me it's about friggin' time, Craig. And that's what I did when it came to my groups of friends. I told most of them in groups while I was on a night out and while I was pretty much drunk. I told my mother when I was in my first ever relationship with a guy, and we had this big heart-to-heart and everything was cool. I had her support and she wasn't ashamed of me. I suppose the scariest one for me was, how do I tell my dad? Because, you know, dads are different to mothers. I think I always knew that my mum would be totally cool with my sexuality, but I was a little bit apprehensive with my father. Looking back now, I don't know why, because my dad is totally cool with it. I think he loves having a gay son. He loves Peter. He can't wait for the wedding. So I literally had nothing to worry about. Funny story though, I never actually came out to my dad in person. My dad found out because I went to Swansea Pride's first ever gay pride festival, and I ended up having my photo taken with my friend Rachel Fleming, who I was talking about earlier on, and my boyfriend at that time. And we ended up in the local Evening Post with that photo. This huge photo of the three of us. It was on a big piece of paper, and yeah, that is pretty much how my dad found out. I think if I remember correctly, I telephoned him, I spoke to both him and my stepmom, and they were just like, cracking photo, Craig. And just to address the part about being bisexual, I'm not bisexual, I am totally gay, but I think a lot of us who do come out for the first time, we do end up saying we're bisexual for some reason. Don't really know what that reason is. Maybe it feels a little bit easier for us, but you know, everybody is different. Thankfully for me, I had nobody turn their back on me, and I had the support of all of my friends and family. Ooh, now, this is a very good question. I'm just trying to think of any guys from my teenage years, you know, because it's been a while now. I definitely had a little bit of a crush on Leonardo DiCaprio, probably from around about the age of 11 when I saw him in Titanic, and because my dad basically sneaked me into the cinema because I was slightly underage. Tom Cruise was definitely someone I had the hots for in my teenage years after I saw him in the movie Top Gun. I always had like a bit of a strange fascination with Patrick Swayze while I was growing up as well. I mean, bear in mind, these guys were a lot older than me when I was a teenager. There were many characters in the soap operas while I was going through my teenage years who I had the hots for. There's probably way too many to mention, but probably somebody like Jason Grimshaw, who was in Coronation Street, or Andy from Emmerdale, and Dennis Rickman in EastEnders. So yeah, there's been, you know, loads of crushes, probably more crushes that I had growing up, but I think that list will do for now. Do you know what? It's always hard when you get asked this sort of question because everybody is different. There are still so many men and women hiding their sexuality, either because they are ashamed, or it could be because of religious reasons, or because they believe their family will disown them, or all of the above. Look, the advice that I would give is just talk to somebody. Talk to a friend, and I mean a friend now who you can really trust with your life. And if not, another way of speaking with somebody is to join an online forum and just speak with like-minded people going through similar things. Just always remember to be safe. Networking is great, and if you are fearful that you could have a family member turn their back on you, whether if that could be a parent or a sibling, then you need to make sure that you have already networked and made some new friends and new connections that you can talk to. It doesn't happen to everybody. Most of the time you get the full support, although it does happen from time to time, very sadly. Now, I didn't come out until I was 21, and I've told you the reasons why. However, I am a totally different person now, and I don't have many regrets in life. However, I do regret not being the person, that I really wanted to be back in school, taking ownership of who I am and just being more confident. You get one life in this world until someone can prove to me differently. Don't waste any of it. This is why we still have gay prides every single year, because someone somewhere in the world right now watching this video, a younger person or an older person, they are thinking to themselves that they would rather end their life than be gay or bisexual or trans, and it's not okay. We still have a long way to go, but we will get there. Okay then guys, well that is my coming out story. Let me know in the comments box below what you thought of my story. Let me know if any of my parts of my story resonates with any of you or someone that you may know, and tell me about your coming out story. I will honestly be interested to know. Okay then guys, well thank you all for watching my video today. Please make sure you smash that subscribe button, stay safe out there, and I will see you all again very soon. Thank you all for watching my video today. Be sure to like, share and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to check out some of my other videos. Thank you everyone.